Take a moment, look at the disclaimer. This content is for educational, informational, entertainment purposes only, and nothing should be taken as a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any securities at any time. We're here just to tell you how we look at the market, how we analyze the market. This is Rod from BTA, and we are known as the middle trader. We are not going to get in at the exact bottom, and we are not going to get out at the exact top, but we will make money in the middle. Okay, we're going to do an end of day update of the major market index ETFs. And what we have here is a daily chart of the DIA, the ETF that tracks the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, granted, I have to give it to the market today. We had a very strong up move today in the market. That's facts, okay? All of the major index ETFs, closed well into the green today. All right, they closed well into the green. Let me pull up the chart real fast, and I'm gonna bring over the market sentiment. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. Okay, so the Dow Jones closed up 2.6% today. Okay, the actual index itself closed up 2.6%. The NASDAQ composite closed up 3.3%. And the Standard & Poor's 500 closed up 3%. So everything closed in the green today. I'm going to bring this over so you can see it. Okay, everything closed in the green today. So look at the sentiment page here. Okay, and you can see everything closed in the green. All of the major market index ETFs closed in the green, up over 3%. The ITOT was even up 2.6%. Okay, and look at the FANG MTs. The FANG MTs, they closed up. All of them closed in the green today. All of them closed in the green today. Up 3, 4, 5%. Okay, so we had a very strong day today in the market. Very strong day after a unconfirmed follow through, the unverified follow through day yesterday. If you look at the article we put up on the blog, it was unverified, but it was a follow through day. And we'll go over that later on when we do the walk with the market. But this is the daily chart of the DIA. And notice, very important, we did get above the 9-day and the 5-day moving average. The white line is the 5. The green line is the 9-day moving average. We got above all of them today, okay? We got above and we closed above both of them today. We also closed above the 21-day, okay? We also closed above the 21-day moving average, the yellow moving average. So we closed up pretty strong today. We opened up above the 5, opened up above the 9 today on the DIA, and we ran up and closed above the 21-day moving average. So as you can see right here, we did close above the 21-day moving average. Now, the only thing that I have to say is the volume. The volume keeps coming in low. Okay, so we're moving up, but look at the volume. The volume is coming in low on the DIA. We was low yesterday. Okay, we were low yesterday on Thursday. We was lower than Wednesday. And then today on the DIA, we had a strong update, but look at the volume. It's lower. Okay, so that's not good. That's not what we want to see. When we start getting a rebound rally trying to move up, we want to see volume coming in. This is a form of weakness, right? If it continues, that's one of our forms of weakness. A rebound rally on low volume. A rebound rally on low volume. New highs on low volume. These are all forms of weakness. So if we don't see this volume coming in on the volume bars next week, if this market continue to rise, then that can be a form of weakness, okay? That can be a form of weakness. So that's the DIA with the moving averages. Let's look at the structural chart. Well, doesn't look bad at all. We got above the first set of overhead resistance. Okay, we got above the first set of overhead resistance that we were watching. So let's let's expand this a little bit so you can see it. And I'm going to zoom in. I want to make sure you can see this. Okay. So you see the overhead resistance that we spoke about? Yesterday. We had the 306.28 and then the 305.26 level. Well, we got above it on Thursday. And we closed above it. Today it gapped up above it and it ran up and we got above 312.53. This overhead resistance level right here, the 312.53 level. So we got above key overhead resistance. The next level now is the 316. Is the 316.91. That's right up here, 316.91. That's the next level. Okay, this next horizontal overhead resistance level. So that's where we at, 316.91. Can we get above that? Right now, we had a very strong day today, but the volume is coming in low. All right, that's the only negative, and that's a big negative. We don't want to see a rebound rally breaking upward, trying to move up with low volume. That we just don't want to see. Okay, it's a form of weakness. Now, let's bring up the chart of the DIA with the MACD. Okay, with the MACD and our momentum indicators. Okay, so let's look at the RSI before we go to the MACD. Okay, notice the RSI got back above 40. It got back above 40, and now it's testing the 50 level. Okay, we got to see if we could get above 50. That's the 50-yard line, this yellow line right here. Okay, this yellow horizontal line going across the middle, that's the 50-yard line. We want to get on the right side of the 50. Okay, it's the 50-yard line. We want to get on the right side of the 50. Right now, we got above the 40 level. That's a good. But now we're going up to the 50. Can we get above 50, start going up to the 60 level and get above 60? Well, we get above 60, that's a lot of power. But first things first, we got to get above the 50 on the RSI. Okay, so now let's look at the MACD. Okay, let's look at the MACD and the stochastic. All right, notice that the MACD on the DIA, the histogram is getting smaller. Okay, the histogram is getting smaller and heading towards zero. That's good. That's showing us that the momentum is starting to move to the upside. Hopefully we can get positive. You see the yellow line is still below the blue. So we haven't got that bullish crossover yet where the yellow crosses above the blue. Okay. Once we get that bullish crossover, that's very positive. All right. The stochastic already gave us a bullish crossover and it's moving up well above 20. It's at 34. Let's see if we can get above the 50-yard line. Okay. The KST is a slower indicator of the momentum. It's still pointing straight down. Okay, let's see when that can turn. So right now the momentum is trying to come in. It's trying to come in. The price action is moving upward, but we have to see the volume coming in. We have to see the volume coming in. Let's look at the guppy. Okay, let's look at the guppy. The guppy, the magenta line of closing prices, has just gotten above all of the faster green moving averages. Okay, you can see that. The magenta line of closing prices is above the green, faster, shorter term moving average. And they're trying to start to twist. Okay, so we're going to need to see them squeeze and twist. And we want to see the magenta line of closing price to get above this longer term downward trending red moving average, the longer term moving average, the red moving average. The last time the magenta line of closing prices got inside of here, we moved sideways. The last time it got inside of the red, faster moving averages, and then it got rejected. So this time, can we get through it? That's the key. That's what we're looking for, to see if we can get through it this time. Okay, let's look at the on-balance volume real quick and see what the volume is showing us. Well, as you can see right here, all right, we have the line chart of closing prices up top. The green line is the line chart of closing prices. Here's the high. Okay, here's the high on the line chart of closing prices. We put a vertical line right across it. Here's the high on the on-balance volume. Well, you can see price is breaking above its high, but the on-balance volume is not there yet. The accumulation distribution line has gotten above its high and gotten above this downward trending trend line. That's great, but we need to see the on-balance volume come in and confirm this. All right. On balance volume line is the one that we put the most weight on. So the DIA is looking good, but the volume is not there yet. Okay. But it's definitely looking good and it's breaking levels. Let's see if we could get that momentum on the MACD to give us a bullish crossover. Let's see if we get a bullish crossover. Let's see if we can hold above the 21-day moving average on our moving average chart. Now let's go to the SPY. The SPY looks pretty much the same, except for we have a little bit of volume showing up. Okay, we have a little bit of volume showing up on the volume bars today. All right, that's good. That's what we want to see. So you see the today's action close above the 21-day moving average. The 5-day moving average, we got above the 5-day moving average. We got above the 9-day moving average. We gapped above both of them and we ran up. And now we're above this. We closed above the 21-day. The volume today was higher than yesterday. That's accumulation. That's good. That's what we want to see. So the SPY broke above the 21-day. Okay, that's great. And we've seen accumulation coming in. That's great. So that's very positive for the SPY. Okay, that's positive. That's very positive for the SPY. Let's see if it can hold on to the 21-day moving average and keep moving up. Okay, so now let's take a look at the structural chart for the SPY. Sorry about that. Let me bring that back. I apologize. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the structural chart on the SPY. So it broke above its first set of overhead resistance levels also. Remember the lows from the double bottom that we've been watching? This is the first low. Here's the double bottom. Here's the second low. Okay. Well, we got above the first one here at 380.54, and we got above the second one today at 384.94. So we're above both of the overhead resistance. Today, we gapped above the second low right here at 380. We gapped above it, opened right above it, and opened above this downward trend line. Exactly what we wanted to see. And prices ran up and broke above the 384. And now we closed at 390. That's a very strong move today. Okay, that's exactly what we wanted to see. All right, from the SPY. We talked about it the other day. So that's good. So that's excellent. So let's see what the momentum indicators are telling us. All right, let's see what the momentum indicators are telling us. Let's go to the RSI and the Chaikin money flow. All right, you see the RSI? We're trying to get above 50, right? We got above the 40 level here on the RSI. We got above the 40 level. That's great. Now we're testing the 50 level. Okay, maybe we're starting to see this bullish divergence between the RSI, the price, and the Chaikin money flow. Pricing made lower lows. Chaikin money flow is making higher lows. If you notice, the histogram on the Chaikin money flow is getting smaller. Hopefully it'll turn into the green. That'll be positive, telling us that money is coming into the Standard & Poor's. But we need to see the RSI get above 50, hold 50, and start moving up to the 60 level and try to get above 60. So we need to see the momentum come in, and we got to get on the right side of the 50-yard line. We're still on the wrong side of the 50-yard line. Now, let's look at the MACD. Okay, let's look at the MACD. As you can see, the MACD is still showing us that the momentum is not quite there. It almost turned today. It almost gave us a bullish crossover where the yellow got above the blue. You see the histogram getting smaller? That's telling us momentum is starting to come in. You see the stochastic, we got a bullish crossover, and the stochastic is above 20 and moving up. It's at 34 right now. So the momentum is trying to come into the SPY also. It's looking as good as the Qs, but it's looking a little better because we've seen volume. We've seen accumulation today. Not the Qs, I'm sorry. Looking a little better than the DIA because we've seen accumulation on the volume bars. Now, let's look at our on balance and volume analysis, right? This line won't stay here for us for some reason. Let's readjust this line. Okay, so this line should be right about there. Okay, so if you notice, the on balance volume line, okay, is not breaking above its high as prices is breaking above its high. Okay, here's the line chart of closing prices. Here's the high on the line chart of closing prices. Look at prices breaking above its high. The on balance volume line is not doing it. Accumulation distribution line got above its high. Price volume trend is getting above its high, but we need to see this on balance volume confirm it. Okay, it's not there yet, but it might get there because we did see some accumulation today. Okay, on the volume bars. Let's see if it can show up. Okay, now let's look at the guppy. Look at that guppy. Okay, look at the guppy. The guppy, the magenta line of closing prices, is clearly gotten above all of the faster, shorter term green moving averages. Okay, the green line, the magenta line of closing prices is above the faster, shorter term green moving averages. Okay, we're above it. Now we can starting to see if we can start testing the longer term downward trending red moving average. Remember last time, the magenta line of closing prices got above the green, got into the red area, and it got rejected. Is it going to be able to get through it this time? Look, we have to see. Okay, we have to see. We have to see if that's going to happen. All right. Now let's go back and now let's look at the QQQs. All right, the Qs was very, very powerful today. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Okay, so here is the moving averages for the Qs. You see, we gapped up above the 5 and the 9 today. We gapped above the 5 and the 9 today. We opened up above it, and we ran up and closed above the 21-day moving average pretty well. It's well above the 21-day moving average, but the volume was barely higher than the previous day. Just barely. It's almost the same. Just barely higher than yesterday. I don't even know if it was. Let's just check it for accuracy. 58,189, 58,189,000, and we got 57 million. Right. So it's just a little bit barely above yesterday, the volume. Okay, but not by much. All right. So that's not really on a strong day like this, where the Qs closed up over 3.33%. Okay, with that kind of a strong move upward today, you would expect to see the volume coming in today at least much higher than yesterday. It didn't happen. Okay, it didn't happen. That's not really what we want to see. All right, on a strong day like today, a rebound rally, you want to see volume coming in, showing us that large institutional investors are buying this thing. Okay, now granted, on our structural chart, we got back above this overhead resistance levels from the double bottom. Okay, don't forget that double bottom, the first low, the second low. Here's the double bottom. We got above the second low, which was 280, and then we got above the horizontal resistance level here of the first low at 284. We opened up above them, gapped above it, opened up above it, and we ran up. We got above this downward trend internal trend line. That's all good. Can it hold? Can it hold is the question. All right. And now we're testing the weekly, longer term weekly resistance level right here of 297. The last time we broke above 297, we had gotten a follow through day. All right. When last time we broke above it, it was on a follow through day. And then we got above the 297 right here. We got a follow through day, and then we got into a sideways consolidation and it fell apart. So 297 is the level for the Qs. Let's see what happened. Okay, can we get above 297? This is our long-term weekly overhead resistance level. It's in red, so that's a weekly resistance level. Let's look at the volume. You see that volume is looking a lot better on the Qs. Okay, we're gonna go to the momentum in a few minutes. That volume is a lot better on the Qs. It's telling us that the volume bars is not showing it, but the on-balance volume line is telling us that the volume is coming in. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The volume is coming in. You see that? You see you see right here, you got the high on the line of closing prices right here. Prices broke above it. We got the vertical line going across the highs. Here's the on-balance volume. It's high. Prices broke above its high right here. Accumulation distribution line. Prices broke above its high. And look at the price volume trend. Prices that broke above its high. The volume is clearly coming into the Qs right now. It didn't show up on the volume bars, but the on-balance volume is telling us that it's coming in. Okay, so that's why you gotta look at the volume from all different angles. You can't just look at the volume bars. You gotta look at it from all different angles, so you could try to pick up on things that you don't see on the volume bars. Now, Remember the bullish divergence that we talked about, where prices are making lower low? The RSI, relative strength index, are making a higher low. That was a bullish divergence. The Chaikin money flow was making a higher low. That's a bullish divergence. Well, we got the pop. Look, prices, the RSI moving up, and now it's trying to get above 50. It's at 50.44. And now the Chaikin money flow is fluctuating from positive to negative. Let's see if we can get into positive and turn green. So the Qs is showing volume. We got the bullish divergence. It's showing momentum. The RSI is now trying to get above the 50 level. And look at the MACD. Okay, it's a much different picture for the Qs than what we saw on the DIA and the SPY. Look at the MACD. We got a bullish crossover on the MACD. And don't forget about the bullish divergence also on the MACD. Prices was making a lower low. The MACD was making a higher low. The stochastic was making a higher low. Well, today we got a bullish crossover on the MACD. The MACD line crosses above its single line. The histogram turned green. That's positive. We got a bullish crossover on the stochastic, and it's moving up. It's well above 20. It's at 39 now. Let's see if it can get above 50. Okay. The stochastic is telling us prices are closing higher and higher within this range over the last 14 days. Higher and higher within this range. That's what the stochastic is telling us. So the Qs are showing a lot more momentum. And remember, we got the Qs, we got the follow through day, which was unverified because of the volume discrepancy between our platform and MarketSmith. So we classified it as unverified because the volume discrepancy. Look at the article we put up on the blog. We explained it. But it was a follow through day. Today was a very strong move. And we're going to look at it when we do our walk with the market, right? But it was an additional follow through day today on the actual index of the NASDAQ. Okay. Now, look at this. Very positive action right here. Okay. On the DMI, the ADX. Okay. Let's look at that. You see the green line is now trying to cross above the red line. Okay. And the red line is coming down. The red line represents the sellers. The green line represents the buyers. The green line is starting to cross above the red, and the red is pointing down. That's telling us that the buyers are trying to take control. The ADX line, which tells us whether or not the stock is inside of a trend, is at 20, but it's pointing down. We need that to settle down, flatten out, and get back above 25, and that's telling us we got a trend. And if this green line can stay above the red, that's telling us that the buyers are in control. So we will have a trend and the buyers will be in control. But for right now, what's positive about this is that the red line is coming down, telling us the sellers are losing momentum. The green line is going up, telling us that the buyers are gaining momentum. And the green line is getting ready to cross above the red. Look at the parabolic SARs. Today, we got the blue dot underneath price. That's the parabolic SARs. We got the blue dot underneath price. Very positive action right now. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if we can get a move to the upside on the Qs. Let's see if this follow through day can gain some traction. That's what we're looking for. All right. So now let's take a quick look at the IWM real fast. Let's take a quick look at the IWM. Let's go and look at our moving averages on the IWM. Well, it still needs a little work. We did get above the 5 and the 9, and the 5 and the 9 is turning up. But as you can see, we stopped right at the 21-day moving average, the yellow line. We stopped right at the 21-day. The 5 and the 9 is turning up, but we stopped right at the 21-day. We still got this downward trending red 50-day moving average. But the volume was above average today, and it was higher than yesterday. The IWM actually closed up almost 3% today. All right, it went up $5, almost closed up 3% today. Well, you might as well say 3%. It was 2.95. So you might as well say 3%. Okay, so it was a very strong day, and it was accumulation day. The volume was higher than the previous day's volume. So we had an accumulation day also. But we stopped right at the 21-day moving out. We need to get above this next week. And let's see if we can start testing this downward trending 50-day. All right, that's the key. Can we start testing this downward trending 50-day moving average? All right. Now, let's look at our structural chart. Well, we got We got back above. You see this big, thick red line here? See this big, thick red line? See this big, thick red line here? Okay, that's the March 2020 highs. We spoke about it for the last couple of days. Well, today we opened up above it, came back to it a little bit, and we ran up, traded well above it. That's great. Now we're testing this downward trending internal trend line. Can we get above it? Can we get above it? Can we get above that 21-day moving average we just looked at? So this is good action on the structural chart. Let's go to our momentum indicators here. All right. Well, the RSI is still below 50. We got back above 40, but we're still below 50. We got to get above 50, get on the right side of the 50-yard line. Well, we see that the bullish divergences might be playing out. Prices are making lower lows, and the RSI was making higher lows, and the Chaikin money flow was making higher lows. The Chaikin money flow is now turning green. That's wonderful, telling us money could be flowing in to the IWM. Money could be flowing in to the IWM. So that's positive momentum. Okay, we just need to get above the 50-yard line. And if you look at the MACD has not given us a bullish crossover yet. But the positive thing for this is that the histogram on the MACD is getting smaller, telling us momentum is trying to come in. Maybe next week we get the yellow line cross above the blue. That'll give us a bullish crossover on the MACD. That'll be positive. But the MACD on all of them, okay, is still well below zero. So that's not even a thought. Okay, but the stochastic here, we got a bullish crossover. The stochastic line is above 20. It's at 28.88. That's great. But the KST is still pointing down. But the momentum is trying to come in. Okay, let's look at the volume. Well, you can see that the volume is showing up not only on the volume bars where we saw the accumulation there on the volume bars, but you see the volume is coming in. Okay, the volume is coming in on the accumulation distribution line and the on-balance volume line and the price volume trend line down below. Okay, volume is coming in. All the volume lines is crossing above their previous highs. Okay, here's the high for the green line of closing prices. Price got above it. Here's our vertical line coming straight down. Here's the high of the on-balance volume. We above it. The high of the accumulation distribution line. We above it. The high on the price volume trend. We crossed above it. So volume is clearly trying to come into the IWM. That's facts. All right, we can see that. We saw the accumulation on the price volume on the volume bars, and now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing it over here on the accumulation distribution line. So it's clear that the volume is trying to come in. There's no doubt about that. We can't deny that. Let's look at the guppy real quick and see what it's showing us. Okay, I'm sorry, that's Ichimoku. Here's the guppy. Well, the magenta line of closing prices, right here, is clearly, the magenta line of closing prices is clearly above all the downward trending green faster moving averages. You see that? The magenta line of closing prices here is above all the green downward trending faster moving averages. And they starting to twist just a little bit. But here's the downward trending longer term red moving average. The last time the magenta line got into the longer trending red moving averages, you see what happened. It got rejected. We got to get inside here again and see what happened. It's a possibility we could get in here again and get rejected. So we got to be careful. Now we got a follow through day. That's granted. We got a follow through day, and we put a little money to work on the day of the follow through day, right? Put a little bit of money to work and a little bit more to work today. All right. And so far it's working out well. But we know that we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have to be cautious. I put that in the blog this morning because we're coming into some overhead resistance. We're going into trying to get through the green faster moving averages on the guppy. The momentum is not all the way there yet. Okay. The momentum is not all the way there yet. And we're not seeing lot of volume coming in on all of the major index ETFs. So we have to be careful. The ITOT also had a very strong day today. We closed above the 21-day moving average on the ITOT. Same thing, gapped above the 5 and the 9 and closed above the yellow 21-day moving average, okay? But look at the volume. It was lower than the previous day. That's not what we want to see. That's what I'm saying. The Qs is the only thing that showed convincing volume coming in was on the Qs. You see the volume bar is lower than the previous day, so the ITOT ran up on low volume. The ITOT closed up almost 3% today, but the volume was not there. Okay, now let's look at the structural chart. We did get above the lows of both of the double bottoms, the same thing. Okay, we got above both of them, the 84.59 level and the 85.25 level, and we got above the downward trend internal trend lines. That's all great. We need to see the volume coming in. The volume just is not there yet. Okay, so we can't get but so excited. All right, you see on the momentum indicators, the RSI is trying to get above 50. It's at 48.50 right now. The RSI is trying to get above 50. Here's the 50-yard line. We're right there. The check-in money flow did start showing some positive momentum, and it's turning green right now. Let's see if those histograms can expand, telling us that more money is coming into the ITOT. All right. Now, we didn't get the bullish crossover yet on the ITOT. The yellow line is almost across the blue line. We didn't get the bullish crossover yet, but the histogram on the MACD is starting to get smaller, telling us that more momentum is coming into the upside. The stochastic did give us a bullish crossover, and it's above 20. So all of that looks good. The momentum is trying to come in, but the volume is not there. Okay, the volume is not there on the volume bars. Now, but the volume lines here is pointing a different picture. You see that ITOT? You see how this on balance volume line is looking? You see that it's well above the high of its on balance volume high. Here's the line of closing price. It's high. It's above its high. On balance volume line well above its high. Accumulation distribution line well above its high. Price volume trend well above its high. Right. So the volume lines is looking parabolic almost. That's a little interesting. But we're not seeing it with the bars yet. Okay, but the volume lines are telling us that volume may be coming in. Now look at this magenta line of closing prices. It's clean through all of the shorter term green moving averages. You see that magenta line of closing prices? It's well into the above the faster, shorter term green moving averages. Now we're going to be coming into the longer term red moving averages. You see the last time we got in there, we got rejected. Can we get through it this time? That's the question. So look, we got a follow through day on the Qs yesterday. We got an additional follow through day today. We'll analyze that when we do the walk with the market. Okay. So when you get a follow through day, that's our cue to start putting money to work and leading stocks and leading industry groups breaking out of sound base patterns. But I will tell you, it's not a lot of stocks breaking out of sound base patterns. It's just not a lot of them. Okay. It's not a lot to find. It's not a lot of stocks breaking out of sound base patterns. So it's not a lot to buy right now. So if you're following the system, we're supposed to be looking for leading stocks and leading industry groups breaking out of sound base patterns. It's not a lot there. If you can't find anything, then the old man taught us till we can take a position in the actual index itself. The NASDAQ composite gave us the follow through day, so we'll be taking a position in the ETFs that track the major market indexes. So it'll be the QQQs, the SPY, the DIA, the ITOT, what have you. So we have to now be careful. We don't have a lot of leading stocks to buy. So we took small nibbles. We took small nibbles in stocks, in the indexes and stocks that's correlated to the major market indexes, stocks that go up when they go up. And what are those? I've been telling y'all since the time we started talking, okay, about the FANG MTs, the Facebook, the Apples, the Amazon, the Netflix, the Google, the Microsoft, and the Teslas. Since the time I started mentioning these things almost a month ago, since the time we put up our first couple of videos, we first started talking to each other on the internet, I told y'all I don't see how the market could bounce if the FANG MTs don't. These are correlated directly with the major market indexes. In other words, when the indexes go up, they go up. When the indexes go down, they go down. They are almost 100% in correlation with the indexes. You see what happened today? All of them have big gains. All of them have big gains. It's not hard to see. Okay? It's not hard to see. Now, so we'll pick it up on the next video. Stay tuned to the next video. We'll do the second part of this ETF analysis, and then we're going to do our walk with the market. Don't miss the walk with the market. It's going to be, listen, a lot of key information is going to be in the walk with the market, okay? Walking with the market this weekend is very important, all right? A lot of key information is going to be in there. There's a lot of things we got to look out for. But right now, this week was a pretty positive week, okay, for the most part. Today, yesterday and today was 2 positive days in the action for the most part. So you know, we just got to be cautious, move in slow. This is not financial advice, but wouldn't it be wonderful if it was? But it's not. But what if it was? Cha-ching, cha-ching, ching, ching. We had our weekly meeting on Mondays and Thursdays. I think it was 2 Mondays ago. I told y'all that Lois was setting up with Microsoft. Lois was setting up with DQ, okay, ETF. And the only thing I didn't like about that stock DQ is because it was a Chinese company, but the solar energy stocks were starting to move. I told y'all about that, okay, on our weekly meetings on Monday and Thursday. I think it was about 2 Mondays ago. I mentioned it to y'all. What did Lois do? Lois signaled. We cannot lose with the stuff that Lois used. Okay? Look at Microsoft. Look what Lois did. Okay? We're going to start getting into this later on next week. But look at Microsoft and look what Lois did. Look when the blue line got below prices. Okay? Look when the blue line got below prices. But what happened yesterday on the follow through day? Lois got the prices confirmed what Lois was trying to tell us, and it got above the 21-day moving average. Today it popped. Okay, today it popped. Look at Amazon, which we took a small position in Amazon. Okay, look at Amazon. We can't lose with the stuff that Lois used. Okay, we cannot lose with the stuff that Lois used. Look at Amazon. Look at the blue line below prices. Look at the blue line below prices. We closed right on the 21-day moving average yesterday. Look what happened today. Now we're going to be testing this overhead resistance. We're above the middle of the double bottom, the previous double bottom. We back to that again. If we stay above this and we get above this downward trend line, I'm probably going to add some to Amazon and see how far I can go if the indexes are still confirming. What we're going to be doing moving forward, okay, and we'll be sending out messages, all right? We're going to be sending out the notifications of what we're buying, okay, but we're going to be putting it up privately on YouTube. So when you get a private video, and we'll send out the link, okay, on those videos where only our members at browntradingacademy.com will be able to see what we're doing in real time. We'll be popping it up on YouTube right after we do it, okay? So that's coming soon. But I was able to mention this to everybody, even DQ. I was able to mention this to everybody when we had our Monday and Wednesday meetings, okay? Here's DQ. You see what happened with DQ with Lois. Look when Lois turned blue. Got above the 21-day moving average. Okay, and it ran up. Okay, it ran up. This is not financial advice. It's not financial advice. But wouldn't it be wonderful if it was? Okay, so we got a follow through day. Okay, we got one yesterday, unverified because of the volume. But then we got the strong move today, okay, and we got this additional follow through today, okay. So stay tuned to the second part of this, all right, and then we're going to do our walk with the market this weekend. Don't miss it. See you in the next video.